My 10 minutes. The question that was asked by Tony is, why would I agree to participate in this exercise? I think the answer is very simple, because he asked me. It's not, I didn't come up with the idea. Basically, he is the one who came up with the idea, so he asked me. And because he's my friend, number one. Number two, because I believe he listens to God. Number three, because I belong to God myself. What alternative did I have? So if you ask me, why am I here? Because I believe it's a godly thing to seek to spend time with younger people about anything that can help them to be better. I've been preparing today for a discussion with focus associates in Mount Kenya area, and they are talking about mentoring. And to me, parenting and mentoring are just two different words for the same thing. And like I was preparing and trying to mention the reason for why mentoring is so critical, and I'm saying it's because most other methods have actually failed. You can go to school, get lectures about how good things are. You can go to church, listen to the 10 Commandments. But when you look around, that's not what you are seeing people practice. And they normally say, habits are caught, not taught. So what that then means, whoever you grow up with, whatever he does, not what he tells you to do, what he does is what you'll discover yourself doing. In 1974, I was a high school teacher, and I was teaching mathematics, which I had not taken for A-level. But because there was something called new mathematics, and my high school was among the ones selected early to do new mathematics. By that time, other schools wanted to do new mathematics. So when they heard I have done new mathematics, they told me that's the subject we want you to do. I did not request for it. What did I do? I started imagining how my teacher used to teach in Form 1 in the night, and in the day, that's what I would do. Now, so I discovered, you want to be original, but the truth is, people influence you, and you do it exactly the way it was done by somebody else. Now, the closest person to a child are the parents. So by default, they find, even when they are fighting, they are rebelling, but their true north, what they think is right, is what the parents were doing, not what the parents were saying, what the parents are doing. And you see, sometimes you don't discover that because you think the children are not noticing. They are young. You don't even think they know what they are saying. But you don't even know when they start copying. You don't know when they start. And I thought that is a very, very important thing. So tonight, if you want to know why it is important to talk about parenting, it's because habits are caught, not taught. And if they are going to be caught, they are caught from people that are nearest them. Number two, because other methods of training someone are also good, but they can never come to the level of mentoring. And parenting is mentoring. My name is John Nganga. John Dongo Nganga. I'm sure most of you have seen in my book, it is John N. Nganga. I was called John Nganga. Then I discovered in the telephone book, there were another 2 or 3 pages of John Ngangas. So that's why I put extra N's, because we had rather many John Ngangas. And I am from Nyandarua, Kinangop. And I got married 1979. So in a few months, we'll be 42 years married. That's why I told you I'm the youngest of the three. Remember, one is 50, the other one 47. Now you can see what I was telling you. I'm far much lower. And I'm married to Rebecca, whom I guess you know, that lady standing next to me. We've been married for these years. And we have 3 adult children and 3 grandchildren. The youngest is not yet 40, but in the late 30s. So that's really, so they left home many years ago. So we are not doing direct parenting for now, but it's something that that we are doing. My 5 minutes are gone. Now the next 5 minutes, assuming now I have introduced myself, I want to say a few things. I've answered the question why is this an important exercise? I've also told you who I am. I want to share a few things about what makes parenting difficult. What makes, at least according to me, I'm only giving you my experience. What making the parenting difficult? Number one, is because nobody trains you. Nobody told you that when you're in your parents' house, you are supposed to have been taking notes, what they do, because that's what you will be expected to do. Now, so you never took notes. Then one day you get married, then 1 year later you get a child, and you start thinking, what do you do with this baby who can't do anything for themselves? Now, and and you have to remember what was done when you are there, assuming you have a younger brother or a younger sister. Now, I think it's. I don't think there is any other place, any other thing you are given a license before the training. You know, you are told you are given a license to be a father, but then after that you start training. Now it's a very dangerous method. I hope they don't ever try that in driving in Kenya. But that's what it is all about. So, since you came into it without training, it's only fair that Tony should put us together to meet. And we are not meeting to train, we are meeting to compare notes and ask questions. Because you're already parenting. It's called learning on the job. Learning on the job. Because you didn't learn earlier. And that to me is one of the difficult things about it, that you at every stage, we had to learn. For example, and over time we would be talking about, the way you deal with a small baby. You know, like you get a baby, nobody told you that from the moment the baby arrives, you will never sleep properly again. Because you see, everybody is excited when you, oh, ngangas have a child. They are not telling you to say kwaheri to sleeping. Now you go to the office, I was working for Cheryl, you go to the office and people know you are born again and they start asking, hey, oh, you started drinking. Now I said, why? What have I done? Now surely the eyes imply you slept somewhere. And then it is not ending today. It goes on, at least the first 6 months, although we have a professor in pediatrics, so I have to be very careful now talking, because he is the one who teaches about it. But for the first 6 months, you can't sleep. And yet, the first year of being married, you could sleep, wake up, whatever. Because the moment you go to sleep, you are woken up by the birds in the morning. Now, every 2-3 hours, you are waking up. And at that time, you haven't learned how to go back to sleep. So you wake up, then by the time you are not getting sleep quickly. By the time the sleep comes, the baby cries again. So you end up 6 hours without sleeping. Anyway, all of you have gone through it. So you're asking me why this program is important? Is because if there is a younger father, we will tell them to be ready for it. So that when it comes, it will still come. You can't prevent it from coming. You want a baby, you also want a choir. And the choir is in your bedroom. So it is very important to prepare people for that. Number two, and that's the first problem. Anyway, I was giving examples. Now, when they become adults, like now I'm the learner in adults. You remember, Jogujeru was my neighbor, so he was always having older children. But we used to take children. Our children were in the same school. Mine are starting, his are finishing in Hospital Hill Primary School. And we used to pull the car so that we put all the children together. 1 week is his, another week is mine. So we did it together, and I was watching him. My friend, so by the time he became adults, mine were not adults. Did I know that it's much easier to parent the crying baby? It's so much easier than to parent adults. And Wafula has just given you an example. You know, even they are small, you just pinch them, and they stop it. Now, if somebody has his own home, you can see them making decisions you don't agree with at all. But you know something? You learn that the moment children become adults, you are not an instructor, you are an advisor. An advice can be taken or left, the decision is his. You have very little power. How you parent people you can't control how you parent people that think you are too old to know. Now, you can see what I'm talking about. And that is the challenge. And unfortunately, you can't parent adults before you has become adults. So, up to now, I'm still learning. I'm also learning how to be a grandfather, how not to get. It's so exciting to deal with the grandchildren. You can almost take them you can almost take them over from their parents because they are much easier to handle than their parents. Until you remember, I'm not the father, I'm a grandfather. And grandfathers like because they are not supposed to be disciplining. They are not supposed to be, so all of it. I hope you get my point. That it is not just now that we are going to be a recruit. Even for Brother Jero, who is going to 50, my friend, he is learning new things. I don't know what he is. Of course, he knows much more than me. But I'm sure there are things he's learning. Like the one he just shared a testimony. How to parent somebody who has lost a husband. That must be totally new. And we are hoping that God will help him through. So I think that's the thing that you need to understand. You are not going to graduate, unfortunately. There will be no time you reach and say, this school of Anthony can go over. Now I'm a grandpa. Because the next stage will be different from the first one. So I thought I need to mention that. Unfortunately, that's all I can mention. It's 11 minutes. So my 10 minutes are gone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, for that.